Just after the first Iron Man got released, Marvel Studios announced the second film releasing on 30th of April 2010. Jon Favreau signed on to direct, and Justin Theroux signed to write the script, based on a story written by Favreau and Downey. Yendi Tartakovsky storyboarded the film, and Adi Granov returned to supervise the designs for Iron Man's armor. Originally, Jon Favreau plans to create Iron Man trilogy, but he directed the first two instead. There were plans for Jeff Bridges as Ironmonger for sequels after Favreau had a meeting with Mark Millar and a few other comic book writers. Ironmonger became the villain just for the first film. Originally, Mandarin was going to be the next villain, but Mark felt he was too fantastical. There was discussions about versions of Mandarin and the story of S.H.I.E.L.D. continuing, so instead Stark's alcoholism gets explored, but not the demon in the Battle comic version. It's instead to be about the interim space between the origin and the demon story arc. Shane Black gave some advice on the script and suggested to Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. that they model Stark on J. Robert Oppenheimer, who became depressed with being the destroyer of worlds after working on the Manhattan Project. After previous version of the story was to have Justin Hammer creating different villains in addition to Whiplash, like Ghost, but the idea got rid of. Those cast from the previous films reprised the role. Robert Downey Jr. said on being hero is kind of heroic, but really kind of on his own behalf, so there's probably a bit of imposter complex. And no sooner, and has he said, I am Iron Man, that he's now really wondering what that means. If you have all this cushion like he does, and the public is on your side, you have immense wealth and power, he felt he's way too insinuated to be okay. Davin Ronson played young Tony Stark, which I think he did a great job. Gwyneth Paltrow said when they start Iron Man 2, Pepper and Tony are very much in the same vibe as the movie processes. Pepper is given more responsibility and she's promoted, and it's nice to see her sort of growing up in that way, and it really suits her. The job fits her really well, which I do agree. Sam Rockwell, who considered for the role as Tony Stark in the first film, in this movie played Justin Hammer, who manufactures rival weapons, and I think he's great as Justin Hammer. Sam Rockwell has never heard of him before. He was contacted about the part and was unaware Hammer is an old Englishman in the comics. He described his character as plucky comic relief, but he's got a little bit of an edge. And also he said he works with Jon Favreau in the film called Made, and Justin Theroux, who wrote the script, is an old friend of his. So they sort of cooked up this idea and pitched it to Kevin Feige. That they did. They were maybe going to do one villain like they did with Jeff Bridges, but they decided to split the villains and made Whiplash as the main villain. James Rhodes, aka War Machine in this movie and beyond, is played by Don Cheadle, and I think he's great as Rhodey. Entertainment Weekly reported that Terrence Howard was offered a 50 to 80% pay cut for Iron Man 2. However, it said that it was uncertain that whenever Terrence Howard turned down the role, or whenever Marvel withdrew their offer, following the contract's dispute between Howard and Marvel Studios. Don Cheadle only has few hours to take the role, and he was unaware of Rhodey's storyline, and he thought Iron Man was a robot before the first film came out, despite that he's a comic book fan. Then again, I was a Marvel fan since I was 7, but during that time I've never heard of Guardians of the Galaxy and Eternals until they announced the films. Scarlett Johansson played Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, who's a spy, assassin, and a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. She's perfect for the role. Emily Blunt was considered for the role, but she didn't take it, as she was busy working on Gulliver's Travel film, so Scarlett Johansson took it with her deal including options for multiple films. Mickey Rourke played Ivan Vanko, also known as Whiplash, who's a Russian physicist, and I think he's badass. Michael Rourke researching the role, suggesting that half of the character's dialogue be in Russian with the addition of tattoos, gold teeth, and fondness for a pet cockatoo, paying for the teeth and birds with his own money, and said that he did not want to play one-dimensional bad guy and wanted to challenge the audience to see something redeemable in him without knowing anything about computers. Rourke described pretending to be tech-savvy as the hardest part of the role. The character is a mixture of Whiplash and Crimson Dynamo, which is cool.
I want my bird.
This is a great bird.
It's a beautiful
We got this all the way from Russia.
A man, this not my bird.
John Slattery played Howard Stark, Tony's father, an inventor, scientist, engineer, businessman and movie director who founded Stark Industries and worked on many government projects during World War II, and I think he did a great job as well. Max Favreau, the director's son, plays Peter Parker, a kid wearing an Iron Man mask being saved by Tony Stark.
Nice work, kid.
John Watts, who directed the MCU Spider-Man films, confirmed that it was Peter Parker and Tom Holland gave him support, which is really cool. There's great casting. I love the fact that they use AC/DC songs again for Iron Man's theme. It really does fit in. Also, Stan Lee gets mistaken as Larry King.
Larry King.
Throwing hologram is pretty neat.
Boy Scouts of America?
Yes, it is a worthwhile organization. I didn't physically check the crates, but...
Watching Tony Stark racing is a blast. The bit where Whiplash attacks was pretty intense. As Iron Man throws a party, we get an awesome scene where War Machine crashes it.
I'm only gonna say this once. Get out.
I love the Iron Man vs War Machine bit.
You want to be the War Machine? Take your shot.
Put it down!
You gonna take a shot?
Put it down!
No!
Drop it, Tony!
Take it!
My favourite line in this movie has got to be Nick Fury at the donut shop.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to exit the donut.
Oh, I love it. You gotta love Samuel L. Jackson. It's a nice Easter egg of Captain America's shield and Thor's hammer in the after credit scene.
Sir, we found it.
Which means a setup for the Avengers. Justin Hammer does a great dance. Black Widow kicks ass. I like that they use the drumming music as the Iron Drones land. There's great action in this movie. The music by John Debney is awesome. As the after credit scene shows, the next MCU film to talk about is Thor.
Shoot the